Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Andrea Giraldo. Welcome to Meetings of the Minds, brought to you by the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in partnership with BronxNet. This show was created in direct response to the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to highlight the work of our members and partners, as well as to understand the resources they have to help our community in those difficult times. I am thrilled to have here today's guest. She is the president and founder of New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. They have assisted over 30,000 women and minority entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses. They've helped over 7,000 entrepreneurs obtain their Minority Women Business Enterprise certification and much more. She joins us to shed some light on the services offered by the New York City Women's Chamber of Commerce on providing gender and racial equity. So please welcome to the show the one and only Miss Quenia Abreu. Hello, Quenia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, Andrea.
Such a pleasure. So let's dive right into this, Quenia. Can you tell us about your upbringing and what sparked your passion for gender and minority equality?
Yes, so I am originally from the Dominican Republic, and I came here when I was 11. Please do not calculate my age.
No, yesterday. We'll just say yesterday.
Yesterday. So I come from a village of women. My mom is one of 8 sisters. And so I grew up surrounded by women. I was brought up by women, and when we came to the United States, to New York, that's what I learned. I learned about empowering women because that's the upbringing. That's where I come from. And when we spoke about in the house about economic empowerment and starting businesses and just helping each other, that's what our family did as women. We help each other. That's what I learned from my mother. That's what I learned from my aunts. And as you know, back then, you have to be in that village. You have to be helpful. You have to be supportive of each other to be able to make it here in the U.S. And that's where I come from.
Excellent. So you started your career in economic and business development at Columbia University, where you became the Associate Director of Recruiting and Job Placement.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn in that role that has traveled with you through every step of your career?
Well, I'll tell you, I have always believed that when it comes to economic empowerment, when it comes to helping our people, there's 2 things that you can do. One is helping them land a good job, or the other one, it's helping them start their own business. So in my past life, I've always said at Columbia University, I was working in that environment, in helping people gain employment and to making sure that they got good paying jobs. And then I transitioned into the area of small business development, which I absolutely love both, but I absolutely love the business development and helping people start their business. So when I transitioned, I took a lot of the things that I have learned from my time at Columbia University. And at that time, most of the women that were there were also my mentors, which is something that I took with me when I transitioned into helping women entrepreneurs. It was that piece of women mentoring women and women helping women get to where they needed to get. So I have been very blessed when it comes to that. In the fact that I always had women, starting with my family and then at the time at Columbia University, where I learned the importance of helping each other, the importance of helping women, mentoring women to help them get to where they need to get.
To the next level in their life. Very important. So when did you start the New York City Women's Chamber of Commerce, and what is its mission?
So I started the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce in 2002. here in the Bronx. And the mission of the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce is to economically empower women by helping them start and grow a successful business venture. And when we started, it was just supposed to be a networking group. And then it evolved into what it is today, which is a full service organization for women that want to start and grow their business. And I have to say, not just women, because we also provide services to men, but primarily to minority-owned companies.
Yeah. But the main focus is women.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
The main
very
focus,
important.
yes, and very focused on women, and also with a very targeted focus on women of color, which are Latinas and African American.
Excellent, excellent. And what were some of the challenges that you have faced in building this chamber, even from the beginning, in the middle, up till today? What are some of these challenges?
Well, I will tell you, challenges, I would say our challenges are very similar to the challenges of a small business, Andrea. And that is, access to capital, access to funding.
First and foremost, every entrepreneur out there, I hear it every day. I need money.
Yes, because what people don't realize is that chambers of commerce, as well as other organizations, we are a business.
A business. Yeah.
We are a business. It's just that it's not owned by by us. It's owned by the public pretty much, but we are a business.
So you're socially driven.
Yes, socially driven, exactly. Yeah. But we are a business with the same needs as businesses have in terms of resources, access to capital, mentoring, networking, all of that. Mm-hmm. We are in need of the same thing. So one of the challenges is the access to capital. I could tell you that. And one of the other challenges that we have is also making, which I think happens with chambers specifically, because we're not a how would I put it? We're not a nonprofit. We're not your typical nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm. We're not, geared towards, for instance, housing or food insecurity and all of this health and all of these different things that are, of course, very needed by our people. We are, in essence, an economic engine. We are, in essence, an economic development or economic empowerment organization. For women. So one of the challenges making also people understand that in terms of the small business is that they need to support the New York Women's Chamber, that they need to support the chambers out there, mm-hmm. because we do a lot for them. So is that almost like a great area where people think, oh, but you're a nonprofit, you're probably getting all this funding from from all of these places. No, we're not. Or the funders, a lot of the funders out there, foundations and other thinking, oh, but you are a business organization, you should be getting all this, support from your businesses, from your members, in terms of funding. Yes, we do, but not a lot. So that's, I think it's one of the challenges that we as, not just the New York Women's Chamber, but also chambers mm-hmm. in general.
But in your case, a lot of them are not yet in business, because you mentioned before that you also help start up.
Yes.
So they're not in business, some of them.
Exactly. So. Yes, you're absolutely right. So, and also what happens with us is that we are also not your typical chamber of commerce. We are a chamber, and some of the things that we do, for instance, we do a lot of advocacy on behalf mm-hmm. of women entrepreneurs, but we are in essence an economic empowerment more than anything. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. So when we work with our women entrepreneurs, we work more with small businesses mm-hmm. than your larger, corporations. It's not that we don't work with them, but our real, objective is to really help those small businesses to start and grow. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different in that sense. So yes, you're right. We help the startups, but we also work with those that are in need, those small businesses that are in need, that are not necessarily, the larger businesses, but that we help them, that we work with them, with the objective of them getting to be that big business.
Well, they have scarce resources as well, so
yes,
they too, as you mentioned, have their own challenges.
Very much so, a lot. And we got to remember that the majority of the small businesses here in the city of New York, they're not even really small businesses, they're micro businesses. They have 2 employees, 2 to 10 employees. Some of them don't have any employees. So some of them are self-employed. They're not really, businesses registered yet. We have a lot. I mean, you have, for instance, the industry of the child care providers. They're self-employed.
Yeah.
And so you have that whole, again, gray area that we deal with.
Yeah. And how do you measure the success of the chamber? How do you quantify how you have been creating this economic equity for women and the minority-owned businesses? How do you quantify that?
Well, we quantify it mainly by outcomes. For instance, I mean, and I think we were talking about this before, that yes, we do training and we do seminars and we do a lot of things that bringing a lot of people, in terms of numbers, large numbers. But what we like more than anything is the outcomes. For instance, how many of the businesses got certified as an MWB company with the city or the state of New York, or both? How many got contracts? How many got, a loan approved? How many apply? How many have actually been able to get their website up? How many have been able to hire employees? How many are still in assistance today after the pandemic, for instance? Those are the, those are the outcomes that we are. I mean, the big numbers are great when it comes to seminars, and we love that. Yeah. But it's really, how do we really impact those small businesses? How is it that, what we do helps them stay in business and grow their business? That's what's really important to us.
Excellent. And can you elaborate on the sort of services that you provide to these entrepreneurs?
We do everything, Andrea.
Well, just a few, so people get an idea.
No, I know. I'm joking also, because as a women's chamber, we get all kinds of, requests, even for childcare. Our services are divided in like three areas. So we have our MWBE services that we provide, and those are very targeted. As you know, those are for women and minority-owned companies that qualify to become certified with the city and the state of New York, and that can do business with the city and state of New York. But just for our
viewers, if you could kindly elaborate on what MWBE is. I know what it is, but not everyone. We're so used to this jargon that...
Yes. So the MWBE, it stands for Minority and Women Business Enterprise. So it's the Minority and Women Business Enterprise program of the city or the state of New York that exists to make sure that city and state agencies provide contracts to women and minority-owned firms. So we work very closely, especially with the city. We're contracted by the City of New York, Department of Small Business Services, to help those firms become certified and then apply and obtain contracts with city agencies.
Yes, and that's very important that you clarify it's the city, because there's state level and there's city level.
Yes.
So 2 different animals there.
Yes, 2 different animals, and then you have the other authorities like Port Authority and SCA and the MTA. Yeah. There's so many. In a perfect world, we're going to have them all come into one day. That is my dream.
We'll see when that happens.
Exactly. But so the MW, so we work, as I mentioned, we work very closely with the city in helping these women and minority-owned firms certified and then obtain contracts with the city of New York. So we help with the certification process to make sure that when they are submitting their application, that their application is complete, don't get rejected. We help them apply to become a vendor of the City of New York, which is separate from the MWBE certification. We help them fill out their passport, which is a process that they have to do even before they become certified in order to get paid by the City of New York. So we do all of that. We help them do all of that. So that's our MWB. And then we do the whole doing business with DOE, Department of Education, with Department of Environmental Protections, with, we run the gamut of all the city agencies when it comes to putting our MWB certified firms in front of them. And under that, we have our one of my favorite programs, which is our Contract Her program. And it is intended to do exactly what it says, Contract Her, meaning it is a program to help our women that are certified with city and state also to obtain contracts with the city and state agencies. And that's one of my favorite programs.
Sounds beautiful. But I like how you mentioned that you help the city, right? But then in return, how does the city, elected officials, everyone else help the chamber? How impactful is their assistance for your chamber?
Yes. So with city, for instance, with the elected officials, they support the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce a lot. And it's been since we started, pretty much. And they do that with funding. They also do that with making sure that we are at the table, the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, which is very important. When you ask about our services, one of those services, the advocacy piece that we do. A lot of businesses don't know this or don't understand how important chambers are when it comes to that, because they are not the ones because we know they can't take time off from their business to come to meetings or to go to Albany or to go to City Hall. So we do that for them. And so the elected officials, they always welcome the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce to come in and have that dialogue with them when it comes to legislation that affects our small businesses. And we make sure that we are there to convey to the elected officials what are the needs of our small businesses, what are the needs of our women entrepreneurs, what are the needs of our minority-owned firms, to make sure that legislation is being enacted or that states in place that are going to benefit our small business community. And we have a very good relationship with our elected officials, and we work with them to advance our women and minority business owners in the city and the state of New York.
Very important. Before, when you were talking on the MWBE portion, I just wanted you to, as you clarified MWBE, you mentioned DEI. And I think it's important also to break that down into what that is and why is it important for you and the chamber as well.
Yes. So, Andrea, it's interesting because the term diversity, inclusion, equity, all of these things, it's a new term in terms of the wording. But it's not a new term when it comes to the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, because since we started in 2002, that's what we have been doing pretty much. Our job has always been to advance women and to advance women of color and to advance our minorities, meaning Black and Latinos, mainly in the business environment. So we carry that. That's been our flag since we started the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. And that's how we got involved also with the whole MWBE in 2007 with the city in the passing of Local Law 129, which is now Local Law 1, which is the MWBE law for the city of New York. So we eat, breathe.
You wake up with, go to bed with, everything in between.
Yes, with that term, with this whole diversity, inclusion, and equity, and a work that I'm very passionate about, and that guides all the principles of the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, and a job that is never done, as you know, because even though we make a lot of advancements, there are
There's a lot to be
There's a
done.
lot to be
Yes.
done, and you know, and we run the risk, you know, even right now nationwide, to lose some of those, you know, benefits or some of those things that, you know, the things that we have, the advancements that we have made, especially at the federal.
Yeah, with legislation
with
and all of
legislation.
that, definitely. But so far, you're good. So tell us what in those events that you develop through the year, what do you have upcoming that our viewers, if interested, could attend?
Oh my goodness! So December 19, we're having our MWB Awards and holiday networking event, and that's going to be here in the Bronx at Zona de Cuba, and one of our MWB certified businesses, because I believe in that we should support our MWBs whenever we have the opportunity to do so. So that's going to be our MWB Awards. And then come January, we have our contractor procurement event. We don't have a date yet because we're waiting for confirmation for space. And we might be bringing it to the Bronx for the first time also, where we're going to be doing contractor Bronx here in New York City. And that's our contractor procurement event where we invite city agencies, state agencies, and corporations to come and contract our women entrepreneurs. So that's happening in
So like an
January.
expo
Yes.
of sorts?
Yes, very much so.
Excellent.
And so we have been doing it in Manhattan for a couple of years, but this year we are really looking at the Bronx to bring our contractor Bronx in January.
Very cool. And if anyone would like to learn more of these events of the chamber, where can they go to?
Well, they can call us and
what number?
At 212-491-9640. Again, 212-491-9640. You can also visit us at our website, which is nywcc.org. Again, nywcc.org.
Excellent. Quenia, I can't let you end, and this is something I love to hear from anyone that comes to our table, is what sort of advice would you provide the next generation if they're looking to follow your footsteps, or even if they're looking to get into business, which is your specialty?
Yes.
What would you tell a young Latina or Latino diverse individual from the area?
Well, I have to say, Andrea, that, you know, getting a mentor is always key.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that nobody gets to where they need to get. Nobody becomes successful alone. Nobody becomes successful by herself or himself. It takes a village for you to become successful.
A lot of support.
Yes, a lot of support, and we have learned that throughout the years. It doesn't matter at what point in your career you are. You need to identify those people that are going to support you. It could be teachers, it could be friends, it could be you know, friends of your parents, and people that you meet along the line. And that's why it's important to become involved. This is very important to, you know, get engaged, become involved, go to your school reunion, go to your college meetings and networking events, and meet the alums of your college, meet the alums of your high school, because they're out there, especially now with social media. You can find anybody
At any time.
At any time. So use that. Use
Yeah.
that, you know, and engage people, meet people, build your network, because your network is your net worth, and
Yes,
it becomes
very
your
true,
net worth
very
throughout
true.
your life.
Yeah. Education-wise,
Education-wise, I tell you, education.
following your footsteps, because you're a power woman.
Yes,
you go everywhere.
Yes, and I'll tell you, education. This is what I tell. This is my advice to young people. Get educated, but don't worry so much about your major, unless, of course, you want to become a doctor. That's different, engineer. But then just get educated, get your college education, get your college degree, pursue whatever you want to, but don't get so caught up on what do I, what major do I do, because let me tell you, I major in marketing. Of course, I love marketing and international trade, but life takes you to different,
pathways.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you do what your passion makes you do. That's your guidance more than anything. And you would change careers throughout your life,
I like that. That's definitely a different take, because at the end of the day, school will also teach you other skills. Just being at a college, you learn so many other skills, such as dealing with people, meeting deadlines, and those sort of things are applicable anywhere.
You take that wherever you go.
Yeah.
The same as your college education, your degrees, you take them wherever you go. And as I said before, you will change career throughout your lives, hopefully, because it is fun to do that. Also, it's fun to do that. So, just get your education and meet people. Engage yourself. Give back to your community. Get involved in your community. That's important, because you also meet right there when you get involved. You might meet that person that wants to hire you. You might meet that person that wants to become your mentor.
Excellent.
So that's important. It's getting involved, being engaged.
Excellent. Lastly, again, how many locations do you have? And just for the viewers' sake, if you could remind them where they can find you.
Yeah, so we have an office in West Harlem, 1524 Amsterdam Avenue. And then we're soon coming to the Bronx.
Ooh.
Yes, we are going to be on 3rd Avenue. I think it's 145th, 140.
So you'll have two.
Yes, we will have
2 locations.
Yes, we will have 2 locations. We're so excited about it. But we go all over the city. But in case they want to come to our office right now, we are in West Harlem, right across from City College.
Very nice. And the website again?
nywcc.org.
And the phone number?
212-491-9640. You can also find it online. You can find me online. I think even my cell number is online.
Public information. But again, New York City Women's Chamber of Commerce, very valuable organization, excellent resource for anyone that is looking to start a business or are in business and needs some assistance cutting through red tape, learning new skills, just getting those doors open. Follow them on their social media, on their website, on their Facebook, New York City Women's Chamber of Commerce. Twitter, Instagram, everything, you can find them. Quenia Abreu. Again, thank you. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. I want to thank her again for coming, for you, our viewers, tuning in and checking us out. Keep following BronxNet TV for continued coverage. If you're not a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you can visit us today at hispanicchamber.nyc. Again, that's hispanicchamber.nyc. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn. We're quite active there. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter. So for now, I'll see you the next time for another episode of Meetings of the Mind in partnership with BronxNet TV. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.